Hello, Super Horror family. This looks like it's working. I can't say that for 100% certain, but for right now, it looks like it's holding together. Let me go and check the chat. All right, the last thing I see is me saying I'm about to press go, and then I did press go, so that worked. Let me get my papers together. I actually have the stream right now on my PC because I wanted to confirm that this was going to work. And I can see now that there's an ad roll right there. So we're going to give people, I don't know, maybe 30, 60 seconds, some ballpark there. And then I'll be able to close that window because I'll be certain that things are functioning as intended. I'm going to skip this. There we go. How are you doing, Amy? All right. I've got a lot of papers today. Some people believe that when you do this sort of thing, that papers mean you're cheating. I guess sometimes that's the case, but for me right now, these papers are because I have data, right? Horror fan, how are you doing? And Lady Ryder, this is so, I can definitely see why Mike the Naked Bigfoot chose to do this way. I'm gonna go real quick and put a black screen up on my PC so that way I'm not being blinded. Ooh, that's very dark. Wow. This might be better for now. It's all right, we're learning. This is my first time doing this in the evening this way with the iPhone. Very nice. So yes, hello everybody and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the very real reasons why I actually, I wrote why I believe in Bigfoot. I use the word convinced a lot more, but no one else does. So if you hear me say the word believe, understand that I mean it's that I'm convinced of this. Believe is a word that I think belongs in very specific areas. To be convinced of something, that means that you have data available to you, and the data supported or did not support, because you could be convinced that something is bad or doesn't exist. So that's how I choose to word it. But because the way people normally speak, the word believe gets thrown around a lot, I wrote the word believe in these papers, so it might come out, but understand that I mean convinced. So if you are here to find out why I feel like I have good reason to believe in Bigfoot, not just specifically Bigfoot, you know, Sasquatch, the Yeti, this type or class of cryptid, that is in fact what we're going to be doing today. But before we do that, I got two comments that I want to share with everybody today on the last video. The first comment, the last video, yesterday's video was, is Krampus real? And if you haven't seen it, I go into the potential for Krampus to be real across, you know, the past, the present, as thought energy. So that was a neat one. I had a good time. Blazing Torchic said, "It's good to see you continuing Mike's way of making videos. I appreciate that and just want to let everyone who doesn't know, Mike the Naked Bigfoot made videos similar..." Oh, sorry. I started reading my reply. Ooh, mistake. It's all right. I should put a different color for that. Thanks for the love. I appreciate that. Mike the Naked Bigfoot did do videos in this style, and on Halloween marked the anniversary of his passing, and there was, I forget the name, it's a Scottish paranormal group, Infinite Psychosis, how are you doing? And we were reminiscing about Mike, and he really did, his channel was very much about fun and community, in the same way that this one was, but he did it very differently. And oh, we have dogs, so you might, hey pups, you might see them come around. They have full range of the house. If they decide to come over, I'll put them on screen. They're cute. But anyway, so Mike's way of doing things, I did think, helped us connect with him. I was never afraid to show my face. I just didn't really see. I thought as a storyteller, using Pommy. Hey, you want to come here? Come here. Okay, okay. Come here, Pommy. Come here. All right. This is Pommy, the fox goblin. Okay. Okay. Small. And she's going to help me for a little bit so that way she doesn't fight with her sister. They play a lot. No, pay attention. Pay attention. Okay, so he did videos a lot like this where, actually I think this was his only real format. He'd come on and he'd talk and he'd share things about his life. And it was good. It was good. It was great. And they were asking during the stream, Fiona, no. That's Jill in the background, their mom. He would give me a sec. I'm a little lost. I got bombed by the dogs. It's okay though. We were reminiscing about his videos, which videos he put up were our favorites and that sort of thing. And I put mine in the chat. I wasn't part of like the panel, but our good friends from The Truth About Beer were there, which was really nice to see. Papa Joey and Uncle Tim, so that was really cool. And I mentioned my favorites because I have favorites. I really enjoyed watching his show, watching him. And when people ask, can you link to this video? I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't. I don't know what happened. I believe his son's name is Steve. And Steve was supposed to be kind of like looking after Mike's channel, like, his videos. For whatever reason, I could not get to Mike's videos. I had a couple saved in a playlist, and I was able to access those, but I couldn't find them on the channel. And that told me they were it's not private, it's unlisted. It means that they were made unlisted for a time. So I mentioned, I'm very sorry. I only have, I don't even have my favorites. I just have whatever I have in this playlist. And it was literally like 1 or 2 videos that I hadn't watched later that I had not seen yet. So I was grateful to have the opportunity to enjoy those, but I did not have access to anything resembling his full library at all. Well, his son did reach out to me on Twitter and told me to please go check the channel again because it should function now. So I did. I went to his channel, and as far as I can tell, right? I didn't go through it with a fine-tooth comb, but as far as I could tell, it's all back. I'll link to his channel at some point after this. Come back tomorrow, you can see it. Give me 1 second. Seltzer water. So I will put a link to his channel. And I'm grateful that whatever problem existed, I don't know if his son was doing something behind the scenes or if it was on YouTube's kind of end, if there was just some problem, because there was conflicts like that from time to time. One time, I tried to access my own content while I was on the library's Wi-Fi, and I couldn't see my own. It was the weirdest thing, and someone was saying, well, it might be because the library might have some kind of thing, and you might be marked as crazy content, so... And I said, I mean, sure, but there's a lot of crazy things on the internet that I'm sure everybody here has access to. So, so yeah, it was, I am happy to see people that enjoyed Mike's videos being here. My videos are going to be a little different. I do not have the same kind of life experience that Mike the Naked Bigfoot had. I've had a very crazy life, but a lot of it involved, normal teenage stuff. There was some, anything that I admit to right now that could be taken as breaking the law. I did it at a time when the statute of, it's already passed. I cannot be, whatever I say, if the statute of limitations is 100 years, then I did it 100 years ago. So yeah, getting into abandoned building, just trouble. mucking about. And I had a very good time doing it. But while I was running around in shopping carts in New York with my friends, Mike was selling wild peyote to teenagers at football games. Oh man, I really do. Mike the Naked Bigfoot, what a character. So it's not the same, and it can't be the same. But while watching his videos recently, after being given access to them again, I thought to myself, even though I don't have the same experiences that he has, I have something that is still valuable, and that is every now and then people will come up to me and say something being cheeky, and, hey, son of the naked Bigfoot. Yeah, no, it's back. It is back. Anybody that goes there, if you go and you're like, oh, it's not here, just make sure you're checking under the live tab, because that's where the majority of his videos were. You have to click on the live tab. So, yeah. I got blindsided. Hey, mate, I don't know. Is your name Steve? I think I heard on another video someone saying your name was Steve. Steven. But you can let me know in the chat. Or if you want to, I can call you something else. Just send me a message on Twitter. That's not a problem. So, funny enough, I'm actually about to read Son of the Naked Bigfoot's comment. That was the other comment I wanted to share. Son of the Naked Bigfoot, the person I was just discussing, actually said that he, referring to Krampus, he is real. Winter's shadow only manifests if you call him. And I really appreciated that comment, because I had read about this before, and actually I have so many stories, like in various portions of Being Complete, and one of them that I had was about high school students accidentally summoning Krampus on stage while doing a like a Christmas play sort of thing. Pete, perfect, not a problem. I will call you Pete. Give me 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna write that down. Papa Bones takes a lot of notes. Perfect. I've got it. So, like I was saying before, I was, taken off track. That happens to me quite a bit. I do apologize. I've run into a lot of people personally, and like my day-to-day interactions, that they act like not accepting new information makes them smart. If you can believe that, it's like, oh, Bigfoot, you're silly for believing this. I'm silly for, well, why would you think that I'm silly? Like, it's okay that you think I'm silly, but let's see why. What's your reasoning? And I'll get something very simple like he's fake, or another really easy one. And I'm not about giving you guys all the the soft pitches, the underhand throws, and showing you how to knock them out of the park. It's really simple. But one that I heard so often that it would get on my nerves when I'd hear it was, well, if I can't see it, then it's not real. And my response to that was, well, you can't see the money in my pocket, but I promise you, the money in my pocket is real. That's back when people had money in their pockets. So that's an act of fiction now, right? Okay. Okay. When I'm talking, it is important to know I don't have all the answers. For me, exploration is the destination. That's what we want. I've spent... The older I got, the more open-minded I became. When I was a child, I was given information that I just believed because it was given to me by my parents or other adults that I was told were deserving of respect, and they are. But and you have to give children information. You can't just tell them, just figure it out for yourself, and the world will open up to you. No, they do need starting information. But I did realize when I met other people from different cultures, I lived in New York, that they were probably given the same information, but with a slant for where they were from. So everybody everybody can't just be right. Jimmy the Lumberjack, how are you doing? Everybody can't be correct. And so I began to realize, well, if I just take the information in that I was given and never question it, and my best friend in junior high was actually named Syed, and Syed is being given this information, and and Syed was being given this information by his parents, and I was raised in a Christian household, and he was raised in a Muslim household, and we're both being told that we're 100% correct, and that everybody else is wrong. It's like, well, oh, and then not to, because sometimes people want to scare people when religion's involved, so it's like, and if you don't believe it exactly right, you go to hell. But it's like he's being told the same thing, so that was when I bought a Quran and started reading it, right? It's like I have to get the information for myself. And everyone's, oh no, you don't want to confuse yourself. I have a functioning brain. Like, if I can't trust my own brain, is your brain better than my brain? And sometimes it is some very smart people in this world, but even if somebody's more intelligent than I am, when I go and I try to find out what's happening, when they go and they tell me things, they should really be helping me understand then, right? Instead of just, oh, well, no, that's all wrong. So with that being said, yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I am here to give what I believe to be good reason to keep an open mind, really, right? That's because being someone that does not want to accept new information, if you think, if I doubt anyone here does it, but if you think that that makes you intelligent, that makes her a very weak person. So let's not do that. That being said, I'm not committed to any of the things that I'm saying right now. If you came out and you had other data, possibly better data, I would accept that better data, right? Bigfoot is. The woods are spooky. The woods are incredible. The woods are incredible. All right, so why am I convinced of Bigfoot? Right, should we talk about the college papers? Let's talk about it a little bit. I wrote a paper in college about Bigfoot. I did this because I realized at a very young age, teachers are bored. If a teacher was to go and have their 200 students write them papers about Romeo and Juliet, everyone writes the same paper. It's not fair, they were in love, the parents, you know, they got in the way, these parents, they could represent government or this or that, and, you know, reading that same paper 200 times sounds so horrible to me. I might do something drastic, right, if I had to read 200 of that. So I started writing papers that were the exact opposite, as much as I could force it in the exact opposite direction. So for Romeo and Juliet, it was, these two were morons. They knew each other for 3 days. This guy was in love with, like, Rosalind, like, 3 seconds ago. You guys are being silly. Politics are very difficult to understand. It's not unusual for parents to insulate their children from politics, and that's what you're seeing here. So they died never even understanding the full gravity. Now, do I really believe everything I just said? Not 100, but it made for a better paper, and hopefully it kept some of my teachers alive, right? So I've been writing like this since late high school when I went to college, and I started writing papers like this again. And what it did was, my English teacher was, he liked it. He liked it. He'd have everybody, one time he gave everybody an assignment. I don't even recall what it was. And he goes, except for you, Mike. Oh, for those that don't know, that is my given name. He said, Mike, I want you to write about syphilis. I was like, cool. I wrote about vampires and the connection between syphilis and vampires, and it was really hard to get an A in that class. He's like, no, it's an A+. If you get an A-, it's pretty much an A+, and that's what I walked away with. I got an A- in the class, so he was a really cool guy. But I do have this information about Bigfoot in my head, and it's been there for literally decades now. So I do have, this was going to be the first talk I did because of that, because I happen to have a lot of info on it in my head. But Krampus, I mean, it's Creepmas, why not, right? So for me, Bigfoot went from curiosity to genuine interest, which is probably like what you guys have experienced. And I happen to be very fond of it because when I'm done with this, you'll be able to see, hopefully, that there are still mysteries in the world, things that are yet to be explained. Right. For those that don't know, this is an amateur sketch of Bigfoot. There you go. Now you know what he looks like. One day we'll get a bigger budget and the sketches will get better. But for now, there he is. Like anytime someone investigates Bigfoot, what do they end up starting with? It's the Patterson film, right? That it's very famous. If you're not familiar with it, if you look up Bigfoot Patterson film on YouTube, there's probably like 1 billion copies of the video. I have some info here on the Patterson video that I'd like to share. Okay. It was shot in Northern California. It allegedly shows a Bigfoot walking along a riverbank. And it has been at the center of Bigfoot arguments for so long, like decades. People have argued, well, is the video real? There were arguments about the position of the hands and the sway of the movement, and it's not possible for a human to walk this way, but it is possible for apes to walk this way. And I swear to God, like every 4 years, it comes out again. Oh, the person who made it, they confessed it was all, a scam. And then, no, that actually, this is the, and I'm going to be really, I think it's so silly to base an entire belief system on one piece of evidence, right? Yeah, it is very interesting. It's silly to base something you're convinced on one piece of evidence. I would not recommend doing that. So I think the film is interesting, much like Pete just said. It's very interesting. It's cool to watch, but I wouldn't watch a video on something and then just assume, oh, I know about this thing. So whether or not the video is real, I have other reasons to believe. The video by itself is actually, if you think about it, very poor evidence. We have, pardon me, gosh, there were so many eyewitness accounts in the 80s that there was a county that literally started putting out protections for Bigfoot. Like, obviously there are the footprints and there's photos, and I'm sure you could find videos with like heat maps and that sort of thing. So there is a lot of evidence. And one of the better things about it, I used the title Bigfoot, but like I said earlier, I'm really talking about that broader class of large ape man thing, right? But we have, the Yeti, and some people even think that the Australian Yowie bear might be a relative, right? So there's a lot of, with all those sightings, and I'm not going to pull that, well, one of them has to be real. No, we don't have to do that. I put the evidence to some fairly simple tests, and that is the person that's putting out the evidence, what could they potentially gain? What did they gain? Right? Pete says that my Bigfoot sketch is too cuddly. I think I did all right. You know what it is? It's that crayons aren't very sharp. That's what it is. They're mush. I think if you, maybe I should use colored pencil. That'll do it. We'll fix it, right? So for the Patterson video, this person could potentially have gotten 15 minutes of fame out of it. Okay, that's neat, right? And for some people, that is enough. But there's one, I don't want to get it wrong. Here we go, 1924. I don't know if you guys have, I don't know who's familiar with this, but this is one of my favorite sightings. I don't want to get it wrong. in 1924, a group of miners in Ape Canyon, Washington, claimed they were attacked by several ape men. Right? So when you think about, and you can actually look that up online, 1924 Ape Canyon miners attacked. You'll get the info on it. So that's a neat one. What could these people have wanted to potentially gain from? Thank you, Elkie. What could they have potentially been trying to gain by feigning a Bigfoot sighting? Well, in 1924, I'm pretty sure people were much more macho, and this is based on the fact that in the 80s they were more macho than they are now, and in the 60s, when you watch shows, it's like men have gotten softer as time has gone on, and that's not, I'm not trying to make anyone feel weird or anything, but that's a fact. You know, you look at Fred Flintstone, and that cartoon must have come out in the Stone Age, right? I'm joking, but it sits there. Yeah, gosh, he was in cigarette ads. You know, these guys, they were tough, and they'd go to the Elk Lodge and whatnot. So if you look at males represented in media, the image has been softened. So in 1924, just using my reasoning skills, you wouldn't want to say something that might make you look silly, right? Unless you could profit from it, or that would make you look less masculine. If it was the ape men came and tried to beat us up, but we killed them all and here they are, well, that would make you look like a hero. But to go and say we were jumped by monsters, that's essentially the claim that was made. We were jumped by monsters, and it was really bad, and we were injured. Okay, so if we're going to go with that, okay, it's like, so the fame probably was not a motivating factor. The next thing is, well, why would somebody make this up? Possibly to hide something. They were miners and they were scouting, so if they found gold or some other rare material, they might not want other people going out there. Or if they were also thieves, they could have hidden something out there or committed some other crime that they'd want hidden. The problem is, with all of that macho energy of the 1920s, there's no guarantee that when they put this story out there that people would not, it wouldn't get a bunch of guys all rowdy. Oh, you know, they'll get their guns and we'll go to, I don't even know if it was called Ape Canyon back then, but, you know, we'll go there, we'll find these monsters, we'll beat these monsters. If they were trying to hide something and that got triggered, you've overspent your hand. It was probably a workers' comp deal. They beat each other up and said it was ape men, and boom, they got a week off with wages. I don't think that's how it worked in the 20s. There was no welfare or social services available. Pretty much everybody suffered nonstop. So I actually give that account a lot of weight because of the way it stands up to my simple scrutiny. Fame, probably not a motivating factor. This was probably embarrassing for them to get beat up by monsters. And if the goal was to hide things, it's way too big of a gamble. It really is. So, and then also, I mean, if there was a hunting party and everyone goes out and they find the stolen goods or you know, a deceased person or remnants of some other crime and it gets tied to them, now those people are dead. So, but there are lots of sightings like this. You can actually, if you just look up, you know, Bigfoot sightings or whatever, that's what I'm looking for. I recommend you do the same. It's like, all right, well, this person, what do they potentially gain from saying this? What could they potentially lose from saying this? Would it potentially cost them something? And that's how I judge these things individually. One really exciting thing about Bigfoot are the sightings often happen in clusters. You know, it's not just, you know, one person sees it here and then the next month. Like, you might get like a, I don't even know, like a flurry of sightings, and then there's nothing for years, and then there's another flurry, and then there's nothing for years. And this to me looks like potential migration patterns. Animals migrate for different reasons. Birds do it for shelter. Wolves are always on the move, and it's for food. So there's just different survival things that are tied to migration. And I actually, considering what I know and understand about Bigfoot in general, I personally think it might have more to do with predators in the area. Like, it's not that a Bigfoot would not be able to defend itself against a bunch of other creatures. It's more that it's just more convenient to continue operating unimpeded. Also, I don't think a wolf is going to be like, oh, let's go and fight those big guys, but I do think they might compete for the same food, or might make enough trouble that it's like, all right, the neighborhood's gone, it's time to move. We do this every now and then, not so bad. So I happen to, so that's my idea. I think we're looking at migration patterns. Let me go see if Pete had something to say. Migration pattern. Okay. Now, one thing about Bigfoot that had me puzzled for a long time, all right, and this in my opinion was like one of the last things I needed to be like, I'm really convinced, is sometimes somebody will see something in the woods, right? They go out in the woods, they're just hiking and enjoying a beautiful day, and then in the distance they see something, like, and it moves away, incredible speed. Because of the distance, they can tell it's a very large creature. They go, Pete, they go where the campers and hikers are the tastiest. Pete, if you happen to know where that is, I would be so happy if you put that in the chat. If I had to guess where people taste the best, I've never been to New Orleans, but the food sounds incredible, and if you start feeding somebody nonstop barbecue, you're like marinating the inside of yourself, right? Is there a lot of Bigfoot sightings there? I don't know, but that's what I think about that. Anyway, so someone will go and see something that they're like, I'm pretty sure what I saw was a Bigfoot, and they won't. And that's the crazy news. See, I've seen things in the woods, not Bigfoot, but I've seen things. And what first happens is you're hit with a shock. You're like there's no, like, what am I seeing? And your brain starts trying to analyze. One time I saw this thing. It was like a cow bear. That's what I told Sammy, right? It was like the size of a bear, but it had the color pattern of a spotted black and white cow. Okay, and it was one of those where I did a double take and then I didn't see it anymore. Okay, now it's one account, right? Just one. It doesn't mean anything, not to me at least. Another time, completely separate, Sammy was walking one of our dogs, and it freaked out there. It didn't want to keep going. Now, when the dog says don't go, we listen. We're like, no problem. We're going home. Not a problem. Zero. There is no, I'm going into these woods and you can't tell me what to do, dog. No. Home. Thank you. I trust you. And then at a completely different time, Sammy had an experience there. Now, I think the order might have been me, Sammy, and then the dog was last. And we still walk there, but we are more mindful of what we're doing and what's going on around us when we pass that spot. Pete says that Bigfoot prefer for you to eat a minimum of 6 sticks of butter before you go into the woods. Oh man, that's why they love me. That's why they love me. Love butter. So you have people, and that's when you first see there's the shock, and what am I looking at? Your brain tries to interpret the visual data, or if it's a smell or something audible, your brain tries to interpret the data, and then after you're pretty sure, that's when you risk sounding silly. That's when it was after I stopped moving, and like everyone stay back. And Sammy's there like, okay, what's going on? And I just need everyone to be still for 1 second. It was me, her, and probably 2 dogs. And I look, and there's nothing. It's like I thought I saw something. Now remember, this was the first So there was no, it's like, well, what did you think you saw? And it's like a bear cow. Like, how do you even describe? We carried on. Nothing happened. I'm still here, right? Everyone's still here. Uh, so when you, that's like the process. So if someone sees something like that, that's what happens. They don't just, oh, let me call someone. I can't believe it. I saw Bigfoot. I'm the luckiest boy in the world. No. No, there's a process, and if you're not even comfortable sharing that information with someone, if you're like, I'm going to be ridiculed for this, you won't say, right? You won't say anything at all. So when you have somebody that is not known to make up tall tales to get attention, right? If the person is already pretty good at social engineering, where they can get attention for other things, like me as an example, I can make people laugh pretty consistently. I don't need to invent stories about, oh, I saw this and that to get a little attention. I just have to be observant for a couple minutes, and someone is going to do something that's a little out of bounds, and I can exaggerate that thing and get a laugh. Good deal. So, this person though that sees Bigfoot, if they let's pretend that instead of cowbear I saw Bigfoot, and then I got so excited, it's like I have to go back. I bring the camera, maybe not right away, maybe I wait a week or two, but or even if I go right away, I bring the camera, I bring everything. I'm so excited, and I spend my life in those woods, and I never see Bigfoot again. So there are a lot of people that say, well, that proves it to you. Bigfoot is fake. This guy thought he saw it. Then he went out there with real equipment and saw nothing. I could invest thousands of dollars in drones and cameras. Never see him again. Oh, see, that's how you know this person wasted their life. It was silliness. Well, what did they see? There was a zephyr, a breeze. Something happened, and now they waste their life. I disagree completely. I have this theory. It was the last piece that I needed. I call it the heartbeat theory. Okay, I am allergic to little woodland creatures, but I love them all. I have dogs here. We bathe them about once every 3 weeks. But I am very allergic to cats. Okay, so when I see a puppy like outside, I'm like, oh, that's like I want to pet you and hold you. But when I see a cat, they're beautiful, so much fun to watch. Cat toys are also pretty cool. They're little predators. I like them. But when I see cats, I don't have the desire to touch them because I will have to wash my hands immediately. It's just, if I accidentally touch even close to my face, my eyes might start watering, I might start sneezing. It's very uncomfortable, and it can last a while. For some reason, cats love me. I don't mean a little bit. I mean a lot. When I go to work, they have cats. They'll get a new cat, and the cat will be hiding in the house and not want to come out. I will come in and, make sure that everybody's well fed and everything is good, and sit down next to my client, and maybe, he's coloring or something. The cat will come out and sit right on my lap. What causes this? It's not some desire. I'm not afraid of the cat. I'm fond of the cat, but there's no excitement to touch the cat either. Something is happening there that I don't understand. And what I think it is I think the cats, because animals have incredible hearing, I think the cat can hear my heartbeat and can tell that I'm calm and that I don't mean it any harm. Now, when we got Jack was a rescue, and he was afraid and aggressive with males. Men, not, he was scared of dogs too. He still is a little bit. We were going to go and get his sister, and we were told that somebody was already looking at her, and it's like, well, that means that she has a pretty good shot of getting a home. Let me see Jack. And I was warned that Jack with males could be a little sketchy. When I first presented myself to Jack, he reacted in a very nervous way. Pardon me. He was very nervous. He was growling and didn't really show his teeth too much, but his mouth kind of, just a little bit. And I hugged him, and it wasn't hard, but it was firm. Like, he could have confidence. Like, he wasn't going to, get dropped if I picked him up, but I didn't pick him up. And then he relaxed. And I think what he did, I think he heard my heart beating, and I'm not afraid of you. I'm not here to hurt you. Like Like, let's go get some food. We're good. We're good. The heartbeat theory makes sense for my dog Jack. It also would make sense for the cats. And it would make sense for Bigfoot. When that person first goes out and sees Bigfoot, there's no tension, because there's no anticipation yet. It's, I'm going out, I'm enjoying nature right now, and then they happen to see something, and then what happens? There's excitement, the heart starts beating hard, there's adrenaline, all right? This erratic pattern, right? You know, calm and then spike, 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 spike. It looks, if you saw it on paper, it would look dangerous to you. You're like, what, you know, what the hell is this? It is the way that predatory animals their hearts would beat. If you can imagine, I don't personally hunt. If someone hunts, I hope you use, you know, everything. But even if you didn't, I'm gonna be honest, nothing goes to waste. There are scavengers out there, and but you know, I don't like the idea of trophy hunting. Don't just cut off something's head. That's disrespectful to the life that was there. You know, have some class. But you know, you're out there and you're steady, and then you see the target and your heartbeat spikes, right? So it would only be natural for an animal like Bigfoot to want to hide, especially if it's not looking to fight, right? Even stories about Bigfoot that are aggressive, a lot of it happens at night, where they have, on top of the number of advantages they have, they're almost like giant ninjas, right? They can come in, do incredible damage, and then they're gone. You don't even see them. So this person, even though they're not hunting Bigfoot, they, in a small way, they're hunting for that photograph, right? So they go into the woods, the same spot, and they're looking, and what's happening? Their heartbeat is, that anticipation is evident to the animals around them. And then things go quiet. If you go into the woods, this is actually Sun Tzu's Art of War, right? He warns, be very careful when everything goes quiet, because that's when a predator is going to attack, or, you know, an enemy army or whatever. But if you go into nature and nature quiets down, there might be a predator there, or you might be getting marked as a predator, right? Pete says, Dad called them ninjas from Krypton. Yeah, yes. So yeah, if you're out there in the woods, and it happens all the time a little bit, right? You go out there, and if you're moving in a weird way, maybe everything scatters all at once, but if you just stay still for a moment, it comes back. This is not a lie. I was out in my shed once, and I was just sitting down on my shed. It's like up a little bit, and just existing, right? One of these days, maybe when it snows, I'll do a little talk outside. That'll be cool. I looked over to my left, and there was a chipmunk there, just sitting, not right next to me, but within an arm's reach. And it turned and looked at me, and it did the funniest Disney cartoon thing. It jumped up, and literally its arms went, and it was hilarious. And then it ran away. It had no idea that I was there. And again, the heartbeat theory, right? I think that there was nothing intimidating. There was no predatory type. Nothing was being hunted. Actually, thinking about it, after I saw it, I did think it was strange. It's like, wow, it's kind of strange that little guy, like, and maybe there might have been some excitement there, and that's what got him to turn over and look at me. I don't know. You guys think I'm crazy? You guys, I think there could be some good science there. We would need. I do think we need some more testing but heartbeat's fine. I'm just looking over my notes real quick to make sure I've got my data points. Oh, here we go. This is important. So, I mean, in case it's not abundantly clear, the determination and the drive that the person that saw Bigfoot would have to see him again. Normally, for most pursuits in life, this is a good thing. Playing an instrument or doing something artistic or teaching somebody or reaching out, anything like that. Having some determination and excitement is usually one of the best ways to make these things happen. But in this very, unique situation, I think it works against people that's well-meaning and that just want to see something special. You know, and that would even go for someone that hasn't seen a Bigfoot, but it's like, I'm going on a Bigfoot hunt. I want to see one. That excitement might be sending signals to animals in the area that you are a potential predator. All right. And finally, science has pretty much already proven Bigfoot. I'm going to be like really plain here. I don't want to get this wrong. It's all the papers, but the branch of study is called paleoanthropology. And the creature I'm referring to is the Gigantopithecus. Okay? This was a giant ape, 10 feet tall. Okay? We have the fossil record for this. So when someone is looking at, you know, Bigfoot or talking, the idea of, oh, that could never, this is silliness. Not only is it not silliness, it's already proven that it existed X number of years ago. You have to be really stubborn to ignore all of this. We'll call it potential information, right? Individually, these little things, they don't mean everything, but when you take them all, right, when you see the pattern. Good night, Elkie. When you see the pattern, well, now you have to kind of, you can't be lazy. You should explain away the pattern then. You know what I mean? No, like, Bigfoot, I'm convinced of Bigfoot. You can't just come out with a, nope, well, I have this pattern here. Yeah. There is, I think, is it Occam's razor? No, Occam's razor. I forget which one it is. I'll say it again, though. And it's, I don't even know if it's considered a theory, but it pretty much goes, the amount of effort you use to prove a theory can be used to disprove it. So if you are saying, well, this person called this person a murderer, so that makes them a murderer, I should be able to come along and say, that person says they're not a murderer, so that makes them not a murderer, right? Because the evidence is even. So if I have established a pattern, it's fine. You don't have to believe in Bigfoot. Like, personally, it doesn't mean a lot to me one way or another what these people think. But for you to say, oh, I know, well, you kind of have to work the pattern then. Like, you know, beat up the pattern then. You can do it. Go get them. Okay. I still have some more, but bloody hell, it's getting a little late. So I will give you guys some, just a little taste, because there really is, there's an incredible amount of data for Bigfoot out there. But if you would like more data, because my pattern, like the pattern, this is, again, I have decades of information, right? I've looked into this when I was in college, many moons ago. Consider the okapi, right? That's it's an animal that was thought to be a cryptid, and now every big museum has one. And that happened, I want to say, within the last 100 years, but time keeps moving on, so it might be slightly longer than 100 years. My paper actually centered a lot on ancient civilization pottery, because there were a couple of tribes where the pottery it looked like Bigfoot, and they did not have mythical things. Pretty much their pottery all represented real things, like, oh, that's a man, and that's an owl, and that's a monkey. What's that? So, the FBI actually had what might have been a Bigfoot sample, and they held on to it for 40 years and then said, oh, no, it was fake. It was a deer. You could have done that years ago. Were you testing the sample for all 40 years? It's just, there's just so much peculiarness, oddness out there that if you want more information, a couple of Google searches, you will have more than a person can talk about in 50 minutes. I know, because I can see the timer right there. All right, so I hope everyone enjoyed themselves this evening. I hope you all take good care of yourself. We will be doing this again very soon. I actually have a list right now of 10 potential conversations, things that we can talk about, where I can give you the reasons I have for believing things that maybe at first glance appear unbelievable. All right, so take care, everyone. I'll see you next time.